Good afternoon, ladies. This is my first ever YouTube review, and I believe the first ever review of the ADEQ Firearms PLRT long-range precision rifle. Just to give you an idea of my experience level, I am not a professional precision shooter. I'm not a military, not law enforcement. I am just a country boy who's been shooting weapons since he was very young. But my goal with this posting is to share with you my experience with the ADEQ company and what I think of their new rifle that I have purchased. This is an AR-10 308. It is based on the DPMS platform for the semi-automatic sniper system that went to bid for the U.S. military. First off, we're going to come down here, and this is a clip from the ADEQ website, and it's a rotary bolt. It weighs about 15 pounds with the optics that I have on it, maybe even 15 and a half. It's a mil spec finish. The standard barrel length for ADEQ is 18 inches, which is surely good out to about 800 yards. I ordered mine with a custom barrel, 24 inch, 1 in 10 twist. We did the Gen 3 carbon fiber forearm. It is free floating except for the gas tube. And we did the Magpul PRS buttstock. On this, ADEQ for the long range weapons makes standard the jarred 1.5 pound adjustable trigger. I talked to them about the use of the weapon from the factory, and we adjusted it down to 1 pound, which we felt was safe to carry to the deer stand and still have a very crisp trigger when shooting from a bench. We did, or they slam fired it for me, or slam fire tested it for me several times with no problems, and we felt 1 pound was acceptable. If you look at the weapon from the start, it's a heavy barrel, fluted stainless, 24 inch. We have the free float tube, Harris bipod, and this is a cheap flip cam here, no bipod or anything, so sorry for the motion, don't want to make you seasick. Everything on this weapon is good fit and finish, no scratches, very clean. ADEQ mills out to the upper and lowers out of their own aluminum and assembles the rest of the parts. Hogu grip, palm rest on this, which is fantastic when you're shooting from the bench. Never have to worry about your fingers getting pinched. The Magpul buttstock on this is good. The cheek weld is not really necessary. A 50 mil scope is able to sit low enough that you don't really need the higher cheek weld. At least I don't. Being taller, I do like having the adjustable butt plate. That makes it very nice shooting from the shoulder on the bench. Just so you know, in case you want to inquire about ADEQ, they are not a licensed retailer of loopholed optics, but they do have an arrangement where they can sell them in packages on their weapons. And being that this is kind of a specialty dealer, they target law enforcement and military for most of their mid and short range weapons. They are a little bit more expensive than, say, your Bushmasters and DPMS directly for Panther Arms. But any little bit more you would pay in that, you're going to make up in your loopholed optics, hands down. They installed the optics for me, and everything was perfectly aligned. I've triple checked with a level. I've even installed the bubble on this, and everything is in perfect alignment. They did not sight in the scope with a bore sight or anything. I did have to start at 25 yards and get it on paper and work out from there when I sighted this in. But overall fit and finish was really good on this weapon. And my only complaint, and I may be able to work this out, the Harris bipod has a cant adjustment, and down here is a screw that tightens that cant up and slows it down. And so far it is still a little loose even when I tighten it all the way down, so got to work on that adjustment. But my goal of this video is just to show you the weapon and show you what I've been able to do to it or do with it. I'm in no way a professional, and so I think the targets that I've put together here are extremely good considering my background and lack of training. But before we get to the targets, what comes with all of their weapons is a Pelican hard case with a hard foam. It comes with a sniper data log so that you can log all of your shots and temperature, weather, variables that are going to affect bullet trajectory. It comes with a cutout for your spotting scope, for your rangefinder. They throw in a little swag, a little brass coin there, or bronze. Nice patch over here. Good little system. They've come with two 20-round magazines. But that's pretty much it for the weapon. You know, it's an AR-10 and AR-10 and AR-10. It's kind of like AR-15. Once you've seen them, you've seen them. They did a good job assembling with it. They put rubber bushings into the fittings here so the upper and lower fit together extremely tight. There's no play in that. And let's get to the gravy here on what we did. This here is HSM 168 grain AMAX match ammo. This is the very first group that I did with this weapon. These are 1-inch squares, so if you look at this center to center is a 1.1/8 group. This is the very first group that I did with the weapon. And back to the range after we got it broke in, I say broke in, we got about 60 rounds through it, and so here we are at the range again. This is Federal Sierra Match King 168 grain hollow point boat tail, and we have a 1-inch group here, 4 touching, 1 not. I'm going to say this is my error, and that we're really looking at you know, maybe a 3/4 group. Over here on my second day at the range, this is my very first target. It is with the HSM 168 grain, and what we have is my cold bore shot, and then we have 4 rounds over here at 5/8 of an inch. I kind of wish I would have went back and added a 5th round and see if I could get that into this 5/8 group, discounting the cold bore. But even then with the cold bore, you know, center to center is still looking at about 1.25 inches. So not a bad group there, counting the cold bore. On this target, we have our Black Hills 175 grain hollow point match ammo. And I've got a called flyer here, so I went ahead and loaded a 5th round. And that ammo put together a 3/4 inch group. And the flyer, again, there's a guy next to me, pulled off a round, and I flinched, and boom, there you go. But this is a pretty good group at 3/4 here, 5 shots. This is shooting from the shoulder on a bench. This is not using sandbags. And something that I'm extremely happy with, when I stretch this weapon out to 200 yards, I dialed my my come up on my ballistics card for the ammo. I've not built a ballistics card for the weapon myself. I actually purchased one based on the ammo. And my first shot came up high, so I dialed it down according to the mills. And when I dialed it down, I put this group together at 200 yards, which is an 1.1/8 5-shot group at 200 yards. So while this weapon is shooting, you know, about 3/4 at 100 yards for me, it's not growing a whole lot at 200. So I have confidence that this is a sub-MOA weapon when you start stretching it out to 200, 300, 400 plus yards. This again was a 200-yard shot, Black Hills 175 grain Win Match hollow point boat tail. Very, very happy with this group right here. No complaints. I'm no professional. I've not had any professional training, so for me, these groups, I'm very happy with them. I look forward to getting some training and stretching the legs of this weapon on out to 800,000 yards and seeing what we can do with it. But if you're considering an AR-10 and you don't want to wait for the backlog of the DPMS rifles, you know, call ADEQ Firearms and see what you can work out with them. I've been very pleased. They do offer a lifetime warranty on the weapon, and the best part of it is if you send him an email, at the end of the day he's going to respond. And the last time I was in Tampa on a business trip, they let me come by and see the weapon being built and processed. And those guys are going to treat you right. They're going to warranty the weapon. They're going to service the weapon if you need it. And you go to a bigger builder like DPMS Panther or maybe Rock River, you're not going to get the attention that you're going to get with these guys. But so far so good. Should I experience a loss in accuracy or any negative aspects of this weapon, I will definitely post that on here for anybody out there to know, to buyer beware. But right now, extremely happy with it, extremely happy with the groupings. Yeah, check out their website, check them out on Facebook, ADEQ Firearms.com. I'm not affiliated with them, but I'm one of the first customers. This PLRT is serial number 3, and so I thought I would go ahead and get a review out there of their product and let folks know my experience. I don't want to say my satisfaction or dissatisfaction. I'm not going to swing your vote either way. I'm just going to tell you that my experience has been good, and I am pleased with my targets so far. So ADEQfirearms.com, and feel free to post any questions. Thank you.